friends, this story is from a time long ago. In a small village, there lived a man named Mohan. Mohan's family was very simple. They had a small house, and he worked day and night to earn a living. Although Mohan lived a modest life, his heart was big. He was always ready to help others. Everyone in the village appreciated his honesty and kindness. Mohan had a habit of helping anyone in need while working in the fields. If a hungry dog came by, he would feed it from his tiffin without a second thought. If a traveler was hungry, he would even give away his own food. His wife Sunita was often upset by this. She would say, "Because of your generosity, our kitchen is always empty. You should think about yourself too." But Mohan would smile and reply, "Sunita, a hungry stomach is the worst enemy. If we can help someone, why shouldn't we? God sees everything." One afternoon, while Mohan was resting at home, an old sage called out from the door. His voice was weak, as if he was very tired and hungry. Sunita heard him and peeked through a crack in the door. She saw an old man in saffron robes, leaning on a stick, his face pale with hunger. Seeing his condition, Sunita felt a pang of pity, but then she remembered their own empty kitchen. She went to Mohan and said, "There's a sage at the door. He looks very hungry, but we have nothing to offer him." Mohan got up immediately and went to the door. He folded his hands respectfully and said, "Welcome, revered sage. Please, come in." The sage entered, his steps unsteady. Mohan offered him a seat and a glass of water. The sage drank the water and said, "Son, I have been walking for 3 days and have not eaten anything. Can you give me some food?" Mohan's heart sank. He looked at Sunita, who helplessly shook her head. Mohan then remembered something. He went into the kitchen and returned with a small pot. He presented it to the sage and said, "Venerable sire, this is all we have. It is a little bit of rice and some lentils. Please accept it." The sage looked at the small pot, and then at Mohan's sincere face. He smiled gently. "My son," he said, "your heart is as vast as the sky. This small pot is more valuable than a king's feast, because it is offered with pure love." As the sage began to eat, a miracle happened. No matter how much rice he took from the pot, it never seemed too empty. Sunita and Mohan watched in astonishment. The pot remained full. After eating his fill, the sage stood up, his face now glowing with energy. He looked at Mohan and Sunita and said, "I am not just an ordinary sage. I came here to test your kindness. You have passed the test with flying colors." He then blessed them, saying, "From this day forward, this pot will never be empty. It will always be filled with food, enough to feed not only you, but anyone who comes to your door hungry." With these words, the sage vanished. From that day on, Mohan and Sunita's lives changed. The magical pot provided them with endless food. Mohan continued his service to others, but now he could feed every hungry person who came to him without worrying. His home became a place of hope for the entire village. The story of Mohan's generosity and the magical pots spread far and wide, reminding everyone that true wealth lies not in what you have, but in what you give. A kind heart is the greatest treasure of all. I hope you enjoyed this heartwarming story. Remember, a small act of kindness can make a world of difference. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this one.